And also, I'm not getting full military benefits, by the way. I just thought I would point that out. I'm supposed to be getting full military benefits for the month, according to the policies that have been drawn up for military benefits. They pay you full MHA for as long as you are in school, and no, it's not prorated. But for some reason, they have done it as a prorated, a mean to try to do a prorated for me specifically, right? Because they're not paying me with actual military benefits. They're paying me with money that they stole from me. That's what's taking place. So if I'm in school as a full-time student, what was supposed to take place, I was supposed to receive the full-time payment for the month. But they didn't do it that way. And then they keep breaking up the payments because they don't want it to pay it in a lump sum, because that's too hard. It's got something to do with tracing the back, right? They don't want to pay it all together. They pay it in lump sums. For some reason, my military payments were broken up into 3 payments. Make that make sense. Why would it be broken up to 3 payments? It's one lump sum. Because they're trying to keep it from being a trace. Because they did fraudulent activity. But they don't want me to talk about it. They want me to just be grateful for whatever it is that somebody did that I didn't do. All the while trying to figure out how they're going to snatch me up. Because they got plans, so-called had plans, on trying to figure out how to get me back in the military, but sending me off to war. And then killing me that way. And then death insurance of $400,000, which is what most military people get, that's the max, will go to family members. That's their way of trying to hide it. Which is why I keep trying to get the documents fixed for them to put it in there. Whether it says I'm a criminal or not, I don't care. It needs to be on record. That DD-214 needs to be on record. Stating that I was separated from the military, point blank, period. Because for as long as it's sitting, as it open like they have it, like making it look like I wasn't discharged when I was, I'm not MA, I'm not UA, I'm not none of that. I have been separated. Veteran. Crooked. They did it that way because they know I was not separated the proper way. They gave me a bullcrap DD-214. They didn't follow any of the proper procedures or policies. And now they got themselves in a jam. So they left it open, right? Because they need to try to figure out a way. They're going to find a way to snatch me up to make it look like I was UA when I wasn't. Because they don't want me to go back in the military and be restored for what they stole from me. They don't want to give it back. They want me to go in so they can find a way to try to have me killed legally. Because they know y'all going to war. So those documents need to be fixed. That DD-214 going to be spread all over this world. Do you understand me? I got a half amount to post it on my social media account, but I already know that half the people on my social media account are fake, and I don't want to put my social security number on there. So once I scratch it out, I'm going to proudly rep that DD-214 that they gave me. Criminal or no criminal, it don't matter to me. I am a veteran. Because y'all shady. Not only y'all shady, y'all are corrupt. And you had no authority to do what you did. And instead of fixing it, you chose to continue to make more bad decisions and be corrupt. And then you try to find many ways to try to make it look like I was the problem by sending your people whom you have paid and promised to give something, to give a reward to lie, to make it to fit your narrative that it's not true. So that DD-214, that's what I accept. That is what I got. And I won't feel any type of way about it. I'm not going out in the streets feeling any type of way about it because I know I didn't do anything to deserve that DD-214. And it's going to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. And if it's not going to be fixed, then God will handle it how he sees fit to handle it. But I'm not going to feel any way. I'm not going to be anybody's criminal when I have not broken not one law. So as I stated, while we out here trying to play games and make it look like, well, we got somebody and there's a man that's watching you, whatever's supposed to be in Senate, and he paying, because that's what they try to do. They tried to throw these subliminals. Like I said, we all about assumptions now. Where we're trying to make it look like, well, we have this man, there's a man, he's a Senate, and he wanted to offer you a position, and he's the one that's really paying for your education, or you got a scholarship, and they're real. These are the mind games that they play. That's why every time I'm reading the instructions, is always contradictory to each other, because this is how they drive people crazy. And then you have to contact them, but it gives you a means to have to be in contact with them so they can start lying and get their narrative together. But they got to find a means for you to want to contact them. So they put these contradictory instructions and stuff together so they can try to make it look like you crazy. So like I stated, it has some people trying to make it look like there was a guy that was a Senate that was watching me, wanted to offer me a job position. And then what took place was that he was the one that was paying for my education. And then after that didn't work and I didn't go with that, I was decided to go along with the paper that I got from the military. They was like, well, somebody tried to put it out there. Well, have a man paying for your scholarship. There's a scholarship that you are getting. There was no scholarship. Then it looked like there was financial aid. Somebody tried to make it look like it was financial aid. 4 different narratives, all to cause confusion. All the while, even the document that I'm going by, claiming that I'm receiving Chapter 33 benefits, I'm not really receiving all of the Chapter 33 benefits because that's not what they're using to pay me for school. So I was instructed at one point, I was supposed to get out of school because they were trying to use that as a means to make it look like I was in debt. But I said, you know what? No, we're gonna keep going along with it because I have the paperwork. I'm just gonna go by the paperwork, even though I know they're not giving me full benefits. I'm just gonna go by the paperwork, and I'm gonna use that as a means of income until I can figure out the next step, because that's what they have done. They know they don't have a defense. Should I ever have to go back to court to deal with the military? They know they waited too long. They did too much stuff. They had too many lies, sent too many people, had too many issues. They did too much stuff for me to go back to court to have to deal with them, because it would prove that they were dead wrong for everything that they did. Everything, no defense. They would have absolutely no defense. On top of the fact that they stole my freaking phone, hacked my accounts, and then tried to pay me out to be a terrorist. That is your military that did that. So I had the entire Navy out here fighting against me for the actions of a few people. They did that. So now they're trying to figure out how they're going to get themselves out of a bind, because they already know they waited too long. They lied too much. They kept covered up too many documents, fabricated too much stuff for me to go back to court. So they started hauling people in so that I could have more enemies. And then they involved people in the church. Now I got the church people on top of me, who are also thieves, liars, corrupt, because they don't belong to God. Not all of them. All from the military. When all they had to do was fabricate one document that said, hey, we showed that you were separated X, Y, and Z. This is what you got. Then they fabricating other paperwork to make it look like bankrupt, lost the house, $85 in debt or whatever it is. So now I got to do all this work to go put in the work to try to figure it out, to make it look like I'm trying to pay it off, even though they keep trying to keep me in a state of poverty so I can't pay it off, to prove that they are liars, that none of this stuff is even real. It's fake. While trying to go around the fact that they still are trying to find a way to make me disappear, with a whole slew of people helping them, because you got your Masonic lodges all over the doggone world who are willing to lie for each other and be each other's keepers for no reason, even when they're wrong. So this is what I got to deal with. And I want to point out too, I didn't ask nobody to pay for my schooling. I didn't do anything to get a scholarship. I didn't do financial aid. I didn't send that letter for the post 9/11 benefits or chapter 33. As we can clearly see, I haven't done anything. You guys did all that stuff. And you figure because you just one person, it's just easier to just pounce on one person than to just fix the problem. If somebody paid for my education, they should have told me. If somebody did stuff on my behalf for scholarships, they should have told me. They should have ran it by me. You're not going to make me feel any type of way for doing something that I did not do. It is my life. You don't get to operate on my behalf and then think I'm supposed to be grateful for you doing all kind of crazy stuff that I did not ask you to do, that apparently keep blowing back on me. Nobody had permission to do anything. If you wanted to do it, you should have ran about me and say, hey, this is what's going on with your situation. I am the one that is in control of your situation. There was some stuff that took place in the military with your situation, and I stepped in to fix the situation, or I stepped in to figure out what was going on with the situation. This is what we have for you. You are detained. You are in prison, or whatever it is. This is what the outcome is until we figure out what's going on. That's the proper way to do it. But you're also crooked. You don't want to do it that way because you had other alternative motives. You don't get to take control of my life. And then I have to deal with the fallout afterwards. You run it by me. If I want to be a criminal on paper, then let me be a criminal on paper. If you don't want to fix it, then don't fix it. But you're not finna have me begging for scraps and pennies for stuff that I did not do. So I willingly accept that DD 214 with absolutely no problem. As a bold-faced lie, because I'm a veteran. And I didn't make the choice to go back because my stuff still not fixed. And they are showing me that they still ain't doing right. So why on earth would I ever want to get back into the military? The only thing I want to do is now is that every document that I have, whether it is real or not, it needs to be uploaded in the system. It needs to be on record because I accept it. Until I can get a hold of somebody that can help me to fix it. Period. But all this extra stuff that we're doing, illusions, and trying to make it look like it's one thing, but it's not. You're a veteran, but you're not a veteran, but you're still out in the system, but we still got you X, Y, and Z, and playing these games. I don't feel like playing it no more. I am a veteran. So those documents need to be uploaded. Point blank period. Leave it at that. I'm perfectly fine walking out here in these streets. Do you understand me? I don't mind working at McDonald's to work my way up. Because what I know is about the heart that you have. I won't stay down long. Trust me.